a YouTuber who I frankly had been unfamiliar with named Ethan Klein.
Come on, just throwing the jabs in there.
And on his show, he suggested if there was another Holocaust, I should be gassed first.
Whoa.
He said this. And then apparently the video was deleted from YouTube. He said it was just a joke. Mean. He says the joke I was suspended for simply points out that Ben, who is desperate to be accepted by his Christian nationalist friends, is white.
Stop it.
He's trying to claim that he is the real fighter against anti-Semitism.
H3H3 wishes Benny Shapiro shed no tears for Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein's YouTube suspension. The crazy thing is that the day before on the show, he was like, he's a leftist, so they won't even suspend him. The right-wing YouTubers get suspended, but those leftist YouTubers, they never get suspended. He has probably the whole culture, or the whole Hollywood is probably behind him. Next day, he gets suspended. You think Benny Shapiro would spend 30 seconds saying, well, God is great. At least they're catching the leftists too. Will he make this comment? No. He goes right into, don't feel bad for him because he got taken off. Because this guy has basically a whole right-wing network. But then Ethan Klein has gone hard leftist. And he even has a podcast called Leftovers. And it's him and another lefty. And they're doing attacks. And this is getting ugly and it's getting personal. And the Jewish thing is involved in it. And it's a whole fucking drama. Let's watch it, goddammit.
Today on the show, a YouTuber who I frankly had been unfamiliar with named Ethan Klein.
Come on, just throwing the jabs in there. A YouTuber who I frankly never heard of him. Doesn't have 5 million subs like Daily Wire, so never heard of that. Come on, you've heard of him. How many people in the audience? Audience reaction. He's heard of Ethan Klein, H3H3. So that's going to be 1 minus point for him. Play nicely. You should be opening the show saying, you know what? I saw this guy's stuff for years. He's my Jewish brother. He went to the wall in Israel. Comedy was tight, but this is our beef right now. He could have said that, but once you see the insults from the other side, it's too much. But what do you guys think? You think he never heard of him?
If there was another Holocaust, I should be gassed first.
So that's basically the story, though. That's who Ethan Klein is, H3H3. This is Benny Shapiro. Ethan Klein basically said, yeah, if there's another Holocaust, I hope they get this guy first. And that's wrong, obviously wrong. And that is, of course, the first sin. He is the Putin of the situation. In the sense that right now, one major attack has come over to Benny Shapiro, and it's from Ethan Klein, and that's what started it. So let's continue that.
Is not a wonderful thing to say. As I said on the show yesterday, I would hope that another Holocaust he and his family escape because I'm not a terrible person. But he said,
I'm not a terrible person. I'm a good person, and I hope that his family does live. Wow, that's, you know what? I got to give back the +1 that I took back before because I -1 for pretending that he didn't know who Ethan Klein was. But now I'm going to give him a +1. I'm going to just erase that. As much as he did it with attitude, this is righteous. What he did and what he's just said there, that is righteous.
Said this. And then apparently the video was deleted from YouTube. And now he's whining about it. He's very, very upset about it. He said it was just a joke. Mean. He says the joke I was suspended for simply points out that Ben, who is desperate to be accepted by his Christian nationalist friends as white, will only ever be seen by them as a useful idiot and sadly for him, a Jew.
Whoa. That's where Ethan should have said, I crossed the line. I went too far with that. He had a chance. You know, this is just like being in high school, remember? It really is. I'm like the principal of the whole community. Stop it. Ethan Klein, that's negative points on him. So right now, Shapiro is at 0 and Ethan Klein is -2 because he did one wrong thing, and then he doubled down on the wrong thing. Whereas at least Shapiro, he did a negative and then he did a positive already.
Guys, I'm pretty sure that the people who like the show and listen to my stuff know I'm a Jew. Not exactly hiding it. I'm pretty sure that they see me as a Jew because I'm a Jew. You can tell by the funny hat on my head I wear literally every day since my childhood.
This guy keeps it real though, right? Let's continue.
But Ethan Klein being not a very good person, and a tacit excuse maker for genocidal terror groups like Hamas. He's trying to claim that he is the real fighter against anti-Semitism. He says he is constantly excusing, enabling, and platforming real anti-Semitism. This is coming from a guy who literally put out a post last year making excuses for, again, genocidal terror group Hamas. Okay, so what does this mean?
I know Applejack's pineal gland is tingling there, and I know mine is too, because I feel like that's where Ethan Klein was probably doing some kind of activism, something that's slightly pro-Palestinian activism, some kind of like, hey, I know they're bombing right now, but we're fucking with these guys too, right? He said something like that, and now this guy is reinterpreting that as anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas, pro-terrorism, which I don't think Ethan Klein was pro-terrorism, right? So now Ethan Klein -2. I got to give Ben a -0.5, minimum 0.5. We got to give him a -0.5 on it. Let's continue.
Ethan Klein lose his video on YouTube? No, in principle, he should not. I'm very much in favor of the idea that platforms should be extremely loose about what they allow on their platforms. If these platforms proclaim that they are for free speech, they shouldn't be removing videos, even videos that I find to be gross and or despicable.
Now he's going to get a plus 0.5 at least. Negative 0.5 on that last Hamas thing. But now this is, again, a plus 0.5 because he is saying that still I believe in free speech and his video should not be taken down. Leave it. He has said terrible things. He has said foolish things. But leave it. Let the whole world see.
I will add one proviso.
That's their perspective.
If you are, as Ethan Klein appears to be, a person who revels in the cancellation of others, I will shed 0 tears for you and you deserve everything you have coming. Ethan Klein in 2022, as in earlier this year, tweeted out, quote, years ago, I interviewed Jordan Peterson before I was very familiar with his politics. He was an interesting guest who I enjoyed sitting with. But especially now, I can see he's a dangerous gateway to the alt-right transphobia and COVID misinfo. I removed both interviews today. Jordan responded at the time, quote, I should warn you that those who engage in cancel culture generally live to regret it. I'm not going to come after you, except politely in this Twitter stream, but the chickens will definitely come home to roost.
Wow, now he's bringing in his side players. You know what's crazy about Daily Wire is that he actually signed freaking Jordan. These guys are so deep in the culture war that half the right-wing players are in his team. Half the right-wing players in the game are his team. They're going to start running for office. They work so hard. Oh my God. Yeah, he's getting all kinds of plus points. I don't want to give it to him. This has been Ethan for the last couple of years, though, making these big, sloppy leftist statements. He keeps doing this, and it really makes left-wing people look dumb. Man, Ethan was so cool, remember? He got so weird with the podcast. The sketches were so banger. Remember when he was doing the sketches, man? Ethan, do the sketches. Now I feel bad, though. That's so hurtful to say to a YouTuber. Now I'm one of the rabid dogs. Am I right? Let's continue this.
Now, Ethan Klein is crying salty tears over his YouTube video being, by the way, I never called for his YouTube video to be removed.
High ground plus bringing up high ground, negative 0.25. You're on the high ground. Now you're telling us you're on the high ground. Let's keep it. Let's cool it. Let's watch the
I never said that. In fact, I don't think it should be removed. We all play by the same rules around here. And if this is the game that you choose to play stupid games, win stupid prizes, you deserve everything you have coming to you. I'm not going to stand in the way of the cancel culture mob when you have fed that mob and incentivized that mob and been a member of that mob. Ethan Klein tweeted out in teary rage, they are currently the greatest beneficiaries of cancel culture, identity politics, and moral outrage. It's incredible. They've become the party of free speech while decrying and lobbying for ID platforming. They both condemn and defend cancel culture in the same breath. I will refrain from any comments about the appearance of.
There is truth in that. You know, I do feel like these Ben Shapiro guys, they act like they're so against cancel culture, but they are actually offended all the time. It's yeah, they know how to team up. He signed him. He signed Peters. And now Peterson's coming out with hard rips. Like, did you notice that since this guy signed Peterson, Peterson's been crying. Since his career started, he cried like 4 times. Since he's been signed with Daily Wire, he's cried like another 5 times. Nothing's even happening that bad, man, because they made a movie and they made him the villain in the movie. But this is where I kind of agree with Ethan. I got to give Ethan a plus 0.5 on this. I have to do it because Ethan is, I think, politically in the, like, of course, as always, he does these sloppy, this goofy looking publicity style, left-wing publicity, these outrage bursts. He keeps coming up. He does one every like 6-7 months. He's an artist. He's working hard. He has mental health issues, right? So I get, maybe that's what happens when you don't go to God, because this guy goes to synagogue every week. So they probably have a program for his mental health issues. They're probably like, yes, just take your mental health issue, tuck, mental health issue, tuck. Whereas on the other side, mental health issue, tuck, divorce, tuck, burnout. These right-wing maniacs, man, they are tight. They're on top of their shit. It scares the shit out of me.
The person who ought to own a mirror. Well done there. Again, this happens, unfortunately, for the left. They're constantly engaging in the cancellation of others, people who are well within the political mainstream. And then when the cancel culture mob comes for them, they start whining about it. Oh my God, it's such a...
No, that's you. I could say that about you. That's a negative 0.5 on him. Look, overall, it's his video. The other guy's not even allowed to be on YouTube right now. This guy's it looks like he's gonna win, but I gotta dock him some points on that. On the sentence he just said, that's you, dude. It's crazy, these culture war maniacs. They just keep fighting and fighting. Like, they're always fighting. And basically, these guys, what happens is, I think the right-wing people, they come in and they're just like, let's go. They come in looking for fights. And then every now and then, someone who is not, like, people go to debate, but then people who aren't like mental health, like all there, they end up getting wound up in these fights and then like having these outbursts and shit like that. So it almost seems that what I feel like is that, because I don't agree with Ben Shapiro's politics. I think he's kind of hateful. I'm pretty sure he is self-admittedly homophobic, just straight up self-admittedly homophobic. So I don't agree with his politics, but in this case, he's winning the fight, you know, and as leftists, we need to acknowledge it. We need to see it.
Alternatively, they start to,
quite frankly,
bow and cower before the mob. Well, I really had it coming. This is the Seth Rogen strategy. The Seth Rogen strategy is all those women defend cancel culture in the same breath. I will refrain from any comment.
Do you own a mirror? Projecting, are we? That's you, dude. That's both of you.
About the appearance of the person who ought to own.
No, that's Shapiro. That's Shapiro. He needs the mirror. The whole channel is like 30% of the channel is 30%, 40% of their content is like trans people are going to ruin America. It's too much. Even if you think there's an issue, they're 0.5% of the population. There's stuff's happening. I don't know all the science behind it, but you can't say that it deserves 40% of your airtime. It's like the biggest stuff they do is that, like when the other guy, on his network, this other guy, Matt Walsh, put out a documentary called What is a Woman? And it's just every clip was on YouTube. A reaction to every clip is on YouTube. A reaction to a news article about the movie, every single news article, positive and negative. Like if Fox just did a puff piece on it, Matt Walsh next day would be like, so let's react to the Fox News piece about my movie. And then he would just do 10 minutes on that. And then next day, and then if someone criticized it, he would do 20 minutes on that, rip him back. It's just fight.
Well done there. Again, this happens, unfortunately, for the left. They're constantly engaging in the cancellation of others, people who are well within the political mainstream. And then when the cancel culture mob comes for them, they start whining about it. Oh my God, it's such a... Or alternatively, they start to bow and cower before the mob. Well, I really had it coming. This is the Seth Rogen strategy. The Seth Rogen strategy is all those jokes that I told 10 years ago, instead of defending them.
That's true. Like left-wing people apologize. Right-wing people are like, fuck you, what are you going to do about it? And then the right-wing people don't even get in trouble. That's true. I almost got to give him a plus 0.25 on that for just letting the people know about that, because that is a major conservative strategy. Every time they get canceled, and they deserve to get canceled, half of them, not half, but like half of them are deserving cancel. Yeah, no, maybe they're all deserving cancels. I don't know. But a lot of them are deserving cancels, and they're just like, yeah, no, I don't care. You didn't call me anyway, so shut up. I don't care. That's what basically their attitude. They're like, cancel me. Yeah, cancel me. Ben Shapiro put me on double. That's actually how they get their credibility on that side. They get their credibility by being like, screw you. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do about it? And then bigger, I stood up to the mob and then I succeeded. That's what they want, dude.
And taking the hit. I'm just going to say I'll cancel myself. Cowardice at the highest levels.
Damn.
One standard for everyone. That is the way that all of this should work. So there will be no tears shed for Ethan Klein's temporary suspension from YouTube on this end, even though I believe that he should not be suspended for comments like the one that he made.
What a professional job, though. I almost got to give him plus half for that. But you know what? Of course, it's easy for him to win when it's his show and he's doing the rip. Let's see Ethan Klein's rip. We'll have to review Ethan Klein's counter rip next week. So let's see what he says, because he is a bit of a train wreck too. I know, it's so sad. And the moral of the story is, you are loved because you are loved. Such is the nature of love and kindness. Okay? So now that I've done my karmas, make sure you do your karmas. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and sign up for meditation. Ascension is upon us, foolish. Sign up for meditation immediately. Ha! Am I still here?